Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Saudi Arabian coast here at Jeddah, the Red Sea port in Saudi Arabia. A 6 kilometre track, 79% at full throttle, and who dares go for 0-1 wings tonight? We will tell you. We have Tier 2 coming in 8 seconds as the green light will light up the pit lane as we go through. But welcome to Jeddah's 250 kilometres an hour average speed in excess of. It's the second longest track on the F1 calendar, with Spa being longer. But very much it's next to the Red Sea 3 DRS zones here in Saudi Arabia. We are here where there is sand, and you know what that means. Where there is sand, you may not have any human rights, because the sand will take them. But anyway, we have lots to bring. It is a Banshee solo tonight, so do bear with us. Lots to bring. Here's a man from Malaysia. His name is Palang21. He's actually from Canada, but with a name like Palang, I've decided that he is from Malaysia. And here is Fabian Barthez. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He has been unleashed by the girlfriend, and Fabian Barthez is here to grace us with his presence in his Aston Martin this evening. Yes, that is right, he is here and returning. Now, let me just give you a rundown of the championship positions as we go through. So, we currently have not the bravest man in the world, probably the moose. He is leading the championship, followed very closely by Mr. Hodgson in the McLaren. The gap of difference of 11 points there. Third place is Colin Zowell, but he changed his name to Calvin because he likes to go into the zoos and go, "Come with me, little animals, come to my sanctuary." Mr. Hills in the Ferrari, who is nursing a slightly sore head. Alka-Seltzer works really well, is in fourth. And Gini, who's not racing tonight, because Fabian Barthez here is racing for him. He is in fifth place. And in the constructors, it's the Bulls on top and the Bulls in second, with the Prancing Horse in third. Now, let's watch Fabian Barthez, the Manchester United goalkeeper, as he comes across the line. Let's bring up his telemetry and see exactly where we are. Dropping it down into third gear. Actually just dropped to second there. You kind of want to get the car rotating. Don't want to run too wide there like Fabian Barthez is. He over committed himself coming through. A little bit of possibly understeer there. Again, through this first sector, need a really front end that's nice and tight and twisted and committed to a mental asylum, most likely. But here he comes to the end of that first sector, and nicely done, apart from kind of coming through turn 2 where he ran slightly wide. Now coming into that banked hairpin long, you got to watch on the exit that you don't lose the back end and end up smashing your way through the Saudi Arabian barriers. Coming now down into the chicane. Oh, look at that, nicely done there. Again, you got to watch so you don't lose it. New DRS zone just coming up here, about 100 metres. DRS activation now, rear wing wide open, gives you a nice run down just to this next chicane. He is purple, though he's the only one who's currently set fastest time at the moment, so of course he'll be purple. Coming up to this third DRS zone, wonder how many games will be played. Fabian Barthez was always keen on shuggling the knees. Well, he's going to try it in the Aston Martin now, coming in braking. Interesting to see the traction coming out of this corner as well. It looks nicely done there. Rear wing is opened wide. Let's have a look at the top time, 1:30.0. Nicely done there. There's his teammate, the man from Qatar, just a stone's throw away of sand. And here is Panang, the Malaysian, as I'm going to call him, and he's invalidated his lap, so pointless. Here is a car which absolutely looks horrific, and it is the Mercedes, but he's gone 129.4. Hosman into provisional pole position. Alex a second back exactly. Good to see here. Here's the floppy man in the French machine. It's not a baguette, technically a floppy loppy's there. It's a bit like a limp hand. But we'll keep watching and seeing what Floppy Loppy can do as he comes round. Let's just bring the details up at the moment. There we go, 46 seconds. It's going to catch out a few. I think there's going to be at least 3 safety cars. That is my prediction for this evening. We will introduce it. Kaiser Soze's already gone! We've claimed our first victim here at Jeddah. And he's gone. Not quite sure where he's gone. Looking at the track map, but he has gone. Not good for Kaiser Soze deputising this evening. Let's see what Floppy Loppy can do in that Alpine. He'll be lucky if he can go over 10 miles an hour in it. I know, I drove it in Tier 4 on Wednesday. But here we go, round the last corner. Nicely done. Puts the car. You're going to have to get good traction at this final corner, especially if you're going to be under the throes of DRS from the cars behind. Loppy goes into 9th, 4 seconds back. Here is Hodgie and his McLaren Mercedes, throwback to the 1990s. Here is the Simon of the Prat of the Baby Hornet in his Alfa Romeo. His brother's up in 3rd, 2 thousandths ahead of Alex at the moment. Let's see what Baby Hornet can do. Let's jump on board with him. Let's do a lap of Jeddah with the Baby Hornet, because we do like to see it. So accelerating all the way, rear wing now open, coming down into turn number 1. Want to get all that speed, hit around about 207 and then brake down 207, brakes around about 50 metres. Nicely done. Don't commit over in the first part. Nicely done there. Get on the power now, going down through turn 3, coming down into 4. Is going to be the next one. Nicely done. Don't want to get too greedy as you're coming through 5 and 6. He's got a car in front of him. It's a Ferrari getting out of the way, but nicely done. Now coming through 7. Now coming through turns 9 and then into 10. He's getting off the throttle a little bit. You've got to watch you don't run too wide. Now the flat run down from 12 into the hairpin of 13. 4th gear as you come through 13. And yes, he does actually up shifts into 5th now, coming through the magnificent fast turn 14. And then the little kink just coming up here, 15 into 16 now with the chicane, and 17. And now coming all the way down through turns 18, you don't even call them turns, 19, and then coming into DRS zone. We are in it at the moment, coming through 2021, now into turns 22, 23, and now into 24. And really at this point you're just letting the car do all the work for you. The DRS is wide open, you're sailing rounds turns 25 and into 26, reaching around about 315 kilometres an hour, 204 that the baby managed there. He is a quick baby. And then flooring as he comes out of turn 27. What can he do across the line? He is going to go 8th. 8th for the Baby Hornet at the moment. There we go. Right, let's have a look. Like, Palang is back out, the Malaysian, as we will now refer to him as the Malaysian. The Malaysian. Yeah, I've just googled Palang. I'm not going to tell. Actually, I'm not going to tell you what Palang. Oh, he's just cut. How's that not penalised him? I'm not going to tell you what. If you Google Palang, you do so at your own risk. That's all I'm going to say to you at this moment in time. Right, I just want to follow this through because he did cut the chicane. He literally just went over it. I think he's certainly not going to set a time that's going to get him anywhere near the top. Oh, he just bounced off the wall as well. Oops. Anyway, moving on. Womax, let's see what he can do in the Alpha Tauris. He now comes onto a quick lap. So Hosman top, Hodgie second, Fabian Barthez is third, and the brother of the Hornet in fourth, and Alex in fifth. Alex quite happy in this land. It is one of his favourites. Full of sand, reminds him of home. There's other things that make you... Oh, Womax has just went slightly wide. There's other things in Saudi Arabia that make you think of home as well. Anyway, let's see where we are. Right. There is Arabi. We've already seen him, so we're not going to spend too much time on him. That would be ridiculous. There is Morgan in the Williams, the car that looks absolutely horrific. But we are here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, and I'm going to tell you at some point today about the Rolls-Royce Corniche and the potential 5 generations of that lovely vehicle. Remember, 2021, 5th of December, was the inaugural Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Infamous for Lewis Hamilton driving into the back of Max Verstappen. Absolutely shocking. Never seen that with Charles Leclerc in 2022. But then it was back on the calendar again, literally only about 4 months later for 2022. Herman Tilke was the designer, as he is. Sorry, actually, apologies. No, he wasn't. It was his son, Karsten Tilke. So he's followed his dad into designing Grand Prix circuits. Let's see what Morgan can do. 8th at the moment, coming through sector 3, coming into the braking area at final hairpin. Yeah, not too bad. We can deal with that. It wasn't too bad. Seen better. And he goes slightly quicker, 1.4 seconds behind at the moment, but nicely done there. There is Gibbon, he's in the Red Bull. Gatian in the other Williams at the moment. And he spun it round as Gatian. I was going to say he's got to watch he doesn't reverse down because the game will disqualify him. Simba in 13th, Floppy Loppy in 14th. There's Palang, the Malaysian, in the McLaren. Let's see if he can. Let's go on board with him. Let's see if he can actually do this without cutting corners this time. And as you watch him, I'm going to tell you about Saudi Arabia and her rich history. Now, very much extends across most of the northern and central Arabian Peninsula. It's a young country. It's heir to a rich history. It's actually got a region called the Western Highlands. In Scotland, we have the Western Highlands as well. And Palang very much went to the western side of that particular corner. So in the Red Sea, in the Western Highlands, is the Hijaz, which is the cradle of Islam and the site of Mecca and Medina, ultimately. But to the Persian Gulf, that is where you get the oil. That's what has made Saudi Arabia very, very rich. 3 elements: religion, tribalism, and untold wealth have fueled the country's subsequent history. Whoever said that religion fueled anything other than not wealth? Let's put it that way. Right. Let's watch Palang. There it is. Hosman goes even quicker, 128.821. Arabi's second. Fabian Barthez has made a stunning save there to take himself into second place. Let's see what Palang can do. Let's see if the Malaysian can get himself into the top 10. He's bounced across a couple of false starts. Is he going to be able to get into the top 10? He's trying. And he doesn't. 13th. Good. Yeah, that's how we'll go with it today. Good. Let's see what Simba can do. 15th place at the moment, 3.5 seconds off the pace. Looking to fly. Apparently he did a lap that was 4 minutes 32 seconds, and even like my safety car restarts, that would be slow. Let's see what he can do. Nicely turned in as the Ferrari. He's got a white helmet. Looks like a Sebastian Vettel helmet. Listen to that Ferrari engine. Burbles away. Although, to be fair, it sounds a bit like a tractor at times, although it can't sound any worse than the Mercedes engine. It does indeed a Sebastian Vettel helmet. And here he comes down to the end of Sector 1. And he's a second quicker than he was at the moment in his previous lap, so we'll keep a wee eye on him. Alex is on an out lap. Hosman's obviously done better. Palang, the Malaysian, is on his in lap. Fanning's checking himself out on track, as he's allowed to do. A few qualifying bans this evening for activities that we shall not talk about, naughty boys. But there we go, DRS fully wide open in the Ferrari at the moment, coming now down into that sort of second chicane of that very left and right under the building, and then this long and ever arching continuing turn. Oh, the Malaysian got in the way near enough there, but he stayed out of it. Look at the sparks coming from that Ferrari, low ride height. Simba coming now into that final hairpin and now powering out. DRS will be wide open. Let's see what he can do. 27, 28, 29, 30. And he goes into 8th place. It's a Ferrari 8 and 9 at present. Here comes Carl. He's hoping to, he's hoping to be like Mick Schumacher and crash tonight. So if he does crash, ladies and gentlemen, Mystic Meg foretold it. Call Me the Brave has Call Me the Brave hasn't just went into 8th place. I think Alex has just jumped up into 7th. Woomax has went up into 6th. Sorry, that was exactly what it was. Let's jump on board with Carl in this Haas. Yeah, we're not going to go on board with him. That gearbox sounds absolutely horrific. Let's just try that again. Coming now down into turn 1 as we see there. Oh, he misses the apex slightly. Just kind of make it and kind of sticks to it at the moment. Nicely done though as he comes through this first sector. Rear looks a little bit unstable though, to be fair, if I'm going to call it out there. That could be a handful in the race. So let's see what he can do. The front looks quite nice though. The rear does look a handful. Oh, and he's invalidated! Oh, Carl, you've invalidated. Recharge your battery. You were fractionally quicker at the moment. There's Gibbon and he's Red Bull. He's on an outlap at the moment. There is Palang. He's coming out again. How many sets of tyres does the Malaysian have? Who knows? Gatian's there. He's warming his tyres up nicely. Right, back to the battle at the front. There is Alex in his Aston Martin. Nicely done. He is on an outlap. Or if he's on a quick lap, it ain't getting much quicker. Let's see what he can do though. He's got his teammate just behind him there. So Era Voice, Fabian Barthez, and Alex there. Alex coming now down. Nicely done. Hits the apex. Again, doesn't get too greedy on the second curve. Maybe took a little bit too much curve. Ant, the man who is the Englishman from France, who would have hated living in France earlier on this week apparently, or earlier on in the week before. This says good evening, or as the French would say, the bonjour, because they wax their moustaches. Anyway, coming to the end of sector 1, a 10th quicker at the moment is Alex. Look at that, 8/10 of a second gap between Hosman and Fabian in first and second. Mark also in that 8/10, then a second back to Loppy. So Hosman is on another level at the moment, but we've seen it before sometimes. You could be on another level and you could crash out and get nothing. Keep it clean, boys. That's going to be the main aim of the game. Alex did a little bit of a bouncy off the fine sort of middle chicane there. He is 4/10 quicker at the moment though. This would be enough to pop him probably into around about 5th. Unless he can magic it. Marks just went second quickest again. Apparently he was really slow around here, he was telling me. I call BS on that. Let's see what Alex can do as he comes through to seal his position on the ground. Look at that! Purple in the last sector! Wow! Wow, and Fabian's just taken second. The two Aston Martins absolutely trading blows here. Mark was third, then he went into second, and now he's just been disposed down to 4th at the moment. I don't think he'll have much left. No, he doesn't. He's not on a quick lap. I don't think Loppy is either. Dumbest Hornet. Let's see what he can do. He's in 6th place at the moment. Can he get any quicker? He's going to get a nice run from Matt Williams, though. Let's see. Can the older Hornet improve? 5th place. He can indeed. So there we go. Dare. Truth or dare. Let's see. Oh, Alex has left the session. Alex, get back in. You're in 3rd place, mate. Come on. Oh, I'll tell you one thing. Oh, no! Oh, that might be brought up in the stewards later. They're not saying a thing. I say things that get people into trouble, including me. Yeah, that may have impacted there, but there we go. He does go into 7th though, so I think he did improve slightly. Fragile Tunnel is going to come on Simba. There we go. 9th at the moment for the prize. 9th and 10th. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There is your qualifying grid. Hosman's going to take pole position. It's then an Aston Martin 2-3 with Era Voice. Fabian Barthez is back in goal, saving the Aston Martin team 2nd. Alex is in 3rd. Mark's in 4th. And Chris is in 5th. Floppy Loppy, half-baked, in 6th place. Dare is in 7th. He pretty much kind of went truth or dare, and well, we called him out on it. Womack's 8th, Simba 9th, a single track 10th. So it's a Ferrari 5th row. Steuben 11th, Simon in 12th, Carl in 13th, Gavan in 14th, the Malaysian Palang in 15th, Gatian 16th, Calvin Kazasoze, Fanning, and Rickard. The back four. All I'm going to say is that battle at the back is going to be superb. I've talked you through the grid, done it once, not doing it again. There you have it. There is your grid for the Tier 2 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's going to be interesting again though in terms of tyres, in terms of pit strategies, in terms of who's going to start in the mediums, who's going to start in the hard. This is all what we're about to find out. Yes, Hosman, you are on pole position. Well done. It's a Dutch 1-2 ultimately between yourself and Fabian Barthez. But it's going to be interesting just to see kind of what happens, who's going to end up kind of... I mean, you could, for instance, imagine a Simba in a single track doing the hard runs. Morgan's maybe goes on the mediums and kind of fires through in that early part. I think Carl will go in the hards to kind of go all the way through. I think the boys at the back, so pretty much the boys in blue and the boy in white. I think they might get aggressive and they'll go mediums at the back just to see what they can do. I can't imagine any of them will be going, calm down, calm down, calm down. I don't think that's going to happen in the slightest. I mean, this race could be full of surprises. And that is exactly how the next 50 minutes is going to go, to be perfectly honest. 20 seconds to go, and we'll then allow the drivers to set up their setups as we go through. But I'm going to get some pre-race predictions from our pundit team. That is, of course, Gavley, Pinkham, and Ted Gavitz. Now, Gavley Pinkham, first and foremost, who is your thought for this race? Oh, well, you know, I mean, again, Lorraine Kelly's been heavily influencing me, but I actually think I'm going to go for Fabian Barthez. I mean, I've seen his skills as Manchester United's goalkeeper, and I think he could save the day for Aston Martin. You commented on it. I think we could see an Aston Martin 1-2 right now. I mean, that is exactly where I think we're going. I'm not quite sure what's happening with my voice. It's a little bit croaky at times, but I see it there. And well, quite rightly too. Ted Gavitz coming through. Where do you see things going? Do we see a surprise in the ranks? Why has Baby Hornet got a Scottish flag? I've probably asked this before and never actually really got my answer to it, but I'll ask it again, despite the fact that I raced under the Czech Republic flag. I mean, there's absolutely nothing in those rumours at all. We'll come back to Ted Gavitz. Let's have a look at the tyres. We've got someone who's gone on the softs. Martin in 10th place. Now, I said that the Ferraris would likely go hard. One of them's went hard, that's simple. Martin's went on the softs. Is that deliberately clever or deliberately stupid? Or has his hangover meant that he hasn't actually managed to get this right? Who knows? Calvin goes on the medium, so I predicted the bottom four would go on the mediums. Three of them have gone hard. Go hard or go home. The top three are on the mediums. Marks went on to the hards. Kind of thought that might be it. Dumbest Hornet and Loppy. Call me the Braves on the hards. Womack, Simba. There's a lot of pace in this tier. Anything could happen. We know what can happen into turn 1. We know the drama that can unfold as we progress through this track. I'm saying there's at least 3 safety cars. Got to be. There is no other alternative. I think we'll see one within the opening 4 or 5 laps. I think the Aston Martins have a really good chance of getting decent points here. I think if Palan can get some points, he'll be happy. Gibbon's done really well, qualified 14th. I think Morgan will be looking for a good haul of points as well. I think Calvin, Kaiser, Fanning and Ryan will be... I think all 4 of them will be in the points come the end of this race. I think we could have a couple of dark horses in there as well. I think Carl's said he's going to crash out because he's like Mick Schumacher, so there we go. I don't know if Alex is back in yet. He's still ghosting, and this would be utterly horrific if Alex couldn't get back in. So we really need to understand if he can get back in. Otherwise, it's going to be an awful race. Considering he's qualifying, let's hope he can get back in. He's got time. Not long, but he has got time. Dark horse for the win. Wuvax. Dark horse for the win. Purely on the basis of being back in the pack. I think Martin's strategy is going to be really interesting to see how this actually unfolds. And again, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. This race will not be won until the last lap. Nobody's going to drive away with us. Everybody is going to be there, or thereabouts. Alex looks like he's back in, which is good. We are going to see the lights. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, because in Saudi Arabia it's 5 red lights and we're underway, and it's a really good start from Hosman, but he gets bogged down. It looks Robbie Bottas is about to come up the inside of him. That got into turn 1. Hosman's blown it. He's got to give it. He's got a 3-second penalty already. I mean, he literally just cut across there. And look at Mark coming through as well. Absolutely superb. Hosman's blown it. Talk about, and Fabian Bartes, I mean, was like a bit of the Hosman's spun round! Hosman's nearly lost it! Oh, we talked about the luck of rear end grip. We talked that you had to be absolutely bang on with your setup. Hosman's went from hero to absolute zero, down in 6th place, 3-second penalty already. Loppy's up into 3rd place, no half-baked start from him. He was in the oven, primed and baking. Dumbest Hornet stays in 5th place, Hosman in 6th there. He got really just bogged down at the start. Martin on those soft compound tires is absolutely harassing the back of Hosman there. Wimax, our dark horse, is 14th. What's happened to him? Ryan up into 17th. Simba's had a moment as well, and he's gone round. He's dropping down to the tail end of the field. And here comes, look at the battle already. I mean, where do we actually look? Gap out front between Fabian and Mark at the moment. Floppy Loppy up into 3rd place. We're looking at Dumbest Hornet. But look at single track already on those soft compound tyres. Calvin's up into 8th place. The zookeeper. He has absolutely ragged. He's thinking he's got on the inside of the Alfa Romeo. He's going to positive down. Mine's going to bounce off the wall there. Hopefully there's no damage there to that Ferrari. Calvin up into 7th place. Fanny up into 11th in the Alpine. Morgan in 10th. But look at the start from the Alpine up there as well. Ryan's in the pits. Obviously had some damage to the man from the red car. Wow. What a start. Palang, they're also trying to have a look at Martin, but I think Martin, has he got any damage? No, he doesn't. He's managed to survive that. He will be absolutely raging because he was battling the back of Dumbest Hornet and coming down that back straight. 3 abreast as it turned out to be. Right, let's just bring the intervals here. Here is Hosman. Hosman's up into 4th place, looking to recover some of the positions lost after his botched start. Let's see what you can do, Floppy Loppy. Remember, 3-second time penalty. That will not be overruled by the steward. So he's going to have to serve that at the end of the race, where he literally just cut across turn 1. Now, he may argue that that was the right thing to do from his perspective. There's lots of questions that will be asked from that. But anyway, Mark, 2.8 seconds behind Fabian Barthez in the Aston Martin. Remember, medium compound tyres on the Aston, hard compound tyres on the McLaren, and medium compound tyres on Floppy Loppy. Hosman's also on the mediums, as is Alex Dumas there. Calvin's not really made much up on this lap from where he was before. Martin's still there. He's not necessarily dropping away. 2.9 seconds. Gavley Pinkham did call it and said Fabian Barthez, as far as I remember. I can't remember that personality very much. Womax, our dark horse, is now up into 11th. Look at this, battles all over the grid at the moment. Let's see Fanning going round the inside. Fanning's trying to go round the outside of Morgan coming through turn 2. Watch there, Thomas. You might find your nose clipped at that point in time. Absolutely superb racing right through the field at the moment. Baby Hornet with his Ukrainian helmet there. There's Gatia. There's Carl. He's not quite made much there. Call me the brain has just fallen. He's fallen off the edge of a cliff. Kaiser Soze there in 18th. There is Ryan. The race will come back to both him and Simba. All we need is a safety car. All we need, safety car. Hello, is that Michael? Here's Mark. He's got the Floppy Loppy. He's going to be all over him again with that DRS as we're now coming all the way down to that sector 2. Dumbest Hornet and Alex has had a moment, surely. No, he's just been passed by Calvin and Dumbest Hornet. Alex down into 7th place. He's going to find himself in the clutches of a single track very shortly. But tell you what, who's going to find themselves in the clutches of the Alpine? You don't want to ever find yourself in the clutches of the French people, because here comes Loppy. Gaining. Is he going to make a move round the outside? Yes, he does. But who was ahead in the DRS? Like, a little bit of a squeeze! A little bit of a tap there from Loppy. Mark's got a DRS. That'll comfortably keep him ahead. Unless Floppy Loppy's going to try and make a move up the outside as we come down into where no, he thinks better of it. Bozeman was there, but there was exceedingly 2 into 1. Didn't quite go there. Calvin's coming to join this party. He's bringing his big elephant trunk along to go, yes, I'm coming to this party, boys and girls, whether you like it or not. There is Chris in the Alfa Romeo, sticking quite nicely. Alex still there in 7th. Marston's, he'll be impacted by the soft compound tyres, and they'll be going off heavy fuel loads. Possibly not the right strategy to go on, but actually, it wasn't a bad call, really, when you think about it. Start Fanning in the pit lane. Something's definitely happened with Fanning. Unfortunate for him, we need a safety car. And we do! Oh, we've got a virtual, boys and girls. I said we needed a safety car. Who has caused that virtual safety car? Because we have a full virtual safety car at the moment. Definitely not a full safety car. Definitely not a full safety car. It's a VSC. They will all be driving to the Delta, remember, and that is going to be key here. Nobody's really going to be able to make any real gains. I've seen although Error Voice is now 6 seconds clear. I said that no one would run away with this, and boy, Error Voice is doing it absolutely just smashing it here. Got the great escape, and there we go. DRS is now enabled. The yellow flags will be clear, although they are still flashing. Not quite sure why they're still flashing, but they are. It's fine. Palang's left the session, but there we go. We are back to green. The Malaysian has left the session. That promotes Morgan up into 10th place. 5.4 seconds the gap between Fabian and Mark. Loppy's going to see this as the opportunity to really go for it. And Hosman again! It's as if it was the start of the race. He just went straight on it. Turn 1, 6 seconds of penalties. You would almost, and Baby Hornet's got 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. You would almost rather be a little bit, lose like a second of that, than just drive straight across the turn 1. He's getting angry with himself. You can kind of feel it in terms of the car. Calvin's nicely done there at the moment. Chris just behind him, half a second back. Palang, well, he's not in the race. He's out, so that Call Me the Brave was like taking candy from a baby. It wasn't exactly difficult. There is Ryan coming through turns 1 and 2. Baby Hornet there, and Fanning in there as well. Simba coming through. Palang needs another invite. Let me just see if I can invite you. Hopefully. If not, then we could be in some trouble. I cannot invite the man, unfortunately, the man of Penang from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. But here we go. Anyway, let's get back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this! Here we go, right on board with the McLaren. Loppy gets the DRS. Hosman's there as well now. Mark's going to have to defend this line going into turn 1. The overspeed on the Alpine's going to be there, but is he going to try and hang him out to dry? It's so good. Look at Hosman. The two are trying to go on this side by side, and Mark still comes out though. Hosman trying to do that. Calvin gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner card warnings, and already there's challenges here, but it just shows you, even if you don't have DRS coming down that main straight, if you get a really good exit from that final hairpin, you will absolutely be able to stay in front of him. Yes, you're going to have to use ERS. Yes, you're going to have to go a bit on the defensive, but you're absolutely going to be flying as we go through it. Fabian's not even just flying. He's checked out. He's away at the top. Abandon him, abandon ship from the Era boys, right? His girlfriend will be happy. She's let him out one night and he's already winning. There we go. So we need to just keep an eye out of everything that's kind of going on here, because we're starting to get into the very interesting part of the race here. Calvin and Dumbest Hornet. What's happened to Dumbest Hornet? Dumbest Hornet, Chris has spun it in the Alfa Romeo. He's gone round in the middle of sector 2. And that will not be what he needed on those medium compound tyres. He'll have spun them up. Oh, a little bit of a bump there from the Williams. Oh, slightly aggressive, but there we go. Morgan up into 8th place. Womack's in 7th. Alex is in 6th. Calvin is in 5th there. Mark and Loppy. And Mark's trying to go up the inside there. I think there was a little bump there. But Hosman's going to try and go round the outside. This is going to be DRS again. Let's look back from the rear wing of the Alpine. Look at the speed of the McLaren. Mark's going to go up the inside. Is Hosman going to go around the outside? We are indeed. It's going to be 3 abreast. No, they think better of it. And now Loppy tries to keep it going. A little bit of wheel rubbing. Sanders now going to come and look at it in that absolutely horrific Mercedes. It is sparkling in the night sky. I've said, oh no! Oh, I'll tell you. Oh, that was nearly an instant. I don't know whether it was just Hosman cut in front of Loppy, but there was certainly a possible impact there. Dumbest Hornet in 10th place at the moment after his little spin. Carl up into 11th, Palang in 15th. Let's see if very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just see if I can invite Palang back into this. Hopefully, yes. Palang, you have an invite coming towards you, my friend. It should be there. You will get back. Just use it for track learning. Anyway, there he goes. He's back in. That's what we wanted to see. Happy days. Lost a few positions, but can absolutely bring it back. Right, let's just jump back to it, because we're back into the gift that keeps on giving. It is Christmas season. Ho 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 ho! Because here we come. Look at this. Oh ho ho! Hosman's giving him a little bump along, and it really was a ho ho ho! Because here we go, coming into the final hairpin. And the thing is, the Hosman's not going to get the little Loppy's there as well. Mark's going to watch because he's going to be pinched on the outside. It's not what you want at all. He's going to look now to come at Calvin's just a little bit back there. Mark's going to be looking for redemption as he now comes through into turn 1 at the moment. He's going to break, trying to go round. And yes, he does try and break a little bit later than the French baton. Oh, he spun around. Oh, he spun around. Loppy's gone. Floppy Loppy, it's a half-baked idea. Bada-boom. But anyway, Hosman up into 2nd. Remember, he started in pole. He dropped down to about 6th place at one point in time, but he's back up into 2nd place. Mark's on those hard compound tires, and let's not forget that he is on those hard compound tires while all those around him are on the medium compound tires. So he's certainly not on the quickest tires. Yeah, he's on the more durable tires, but he's absolutely just keeping it right there. Calvin, superb. Up from the bottom 4, up into 4th place at the moment. Superb from him. Fanning 18th, Ryan 17th, Kaiser Soze 13th. Good recovery driving there. Field as well, spread across the piece. No Ferraris in the top 10 for Tier 2. Red Bull's championship leaders. AlphaTauri 2nd in the championship. There's the leading AlphaTauri just now. The other one is down in 13th at the moment. Mark has dropped around about a second behind. This is going to allow him vulnerable a bit to Calvin's Elephant. Or it could be the Giraffe that is going to absolutely smash through it, jumping on board with the Red Bull right now, coming down this. What can be described as turns are 24, 25, 26 and 27. Mark within DRS, I think, range there as we came through the DRS detection zone. Let's see now what Calvin can do pace-wise. He used a little bit of ERS as he was coming out of the corner. Does he get DRS? Yes, he does. Rear wing wide open on that Red Bull Honda RBPT. There we go, nicely done. Does gain a little bit. Alex is in the pit lane. He is going to be putting on the hard compound tyres. There is Gatti and there is Call Me the Brave. Carl is also going to be very early stop for Carl. He had some form of damage. Let's just keep an eye out on the Haas as he trundles down the pit lane. Alex, I think, is getting a new front wing. That might explain his pit stop. But let's see what Carl does. He's going on to the mediums. They're not going to get you to the end of the race, Carl. A new front wing for him as well. Palang back in the race and still racing, as you can see. Gibbon in 12th, Kazusuzi 11th. Here's Call Me the Brave, and there is Gatti, and Carl falls behind his teammate. Here's Thomas Horner. Let's just jump on board with him because he's molesting the back of that Williams right now. And Morgan gets a little bit squirrely as he came out of the hairpin there. Chris's tyres after that little spin earlier in the middle of Sector 2 still seems to just be staying with him at the moment. You want to make sure you don't bounce off any of those corners, boys, otherwise you'll do more damage than good. Calvin 9/10 of a second behind. Chris not gaining as much on Morgan as I would have expected. Oh, a little brush with the wall there. Gets a little bit nicer. Hornet, his baby brother, has got another 3 seconds, or 3 seconds. Full stop, but let's see. Here he comes. Here comes Chris. Chris against Morgan. And Morgan has been spiced by the Hornet. There we do, nicely done, but Morgan's going to come back right. A little bit of rear end drift there from Morgan. He gets DRS though. Let's see as he comes across the start finish line. Loppy's in the pit lane. At the moment he will be replacing the tyres. Keep an eye on the tyres as we come down to Morgan. Not close enough to make a move that time. Calvin now only half a second behind Mark as we come through the middle of Sector 1, and Hosman just 2 seconds ahead of this group at the moment. Loppy's coming out of the pit lane. I don't think he may be slightly upset in terms of what's happening, but here we go. Let's see what Calvin can do. The gap for Hosman has reduced on Fabian Barthez. Fabian's just consolidating his position, but we're getting there. So let's it's all kind of went a little bit quiet in the race. We haven't got as much action as we would have liked. What we need now is a safety car. How many times can I say it, and will it happen? That is the question. Oh, that was I thought he was going to run wide a little bit there. Look at the sweep of that camera angle there, and the car's absolutely smashing it there. Calvin, he's kind of gaining. He gains, maybe then he kind of drops back. Just wonder whether his car's more kind of configured for speed, back of the grid start. You're going to want to have a little bit, you're going to want to have a faster car, yes, but you're going to want to make sure you don't end up in a wall. Ultimately, he is gaining 0.4 of a second now, 0.4, but he's just not close enough alongside to be able to make the move into turn 1. Womax is in the pits, so he is pitting. He will go on to the hard compound tyres for the final 14 laps of the race. I said there was going to be 3 safety cars. Where on earth are these safety cars? Well, yeah, we've had a VSC. It doesn't count, though, as one co-commentator in the past did try and claim. I believe that co-commentator is sitting in 17th position right now. Womax is going to come out just in front of Palang by the looks of things. Morgan up into 6th place. And again, let's not forget, if we just go on to the tyres at the moment. So again, look, 10 laps on the mediums, 10 laps on the hards. We're getting to that crossover point, ultimately, where it all looks. Monster is saying, come on, Team Papaya. Yes, well, you have one car in the top 10. The other one, unfortunately, had some connection issues. I then have to say, where the hell are you, Andrew? You should be racing in Jeddah. None of this political abstaining. It's going to be interesting to see, because is it going to be undercut? Is it going to be overcut territory? That's going to be fundamentally the key thing, right? As we go through here. Morgan's doing really well on those medium tyres. Yes, he's run wide a couple of times. Yes, he's been overtaken by Dumbest Hornet. Aerovoice Fabian Barthez is in the pits. This is critical because Hosman's coming in as well. Now, Mark doesn't have to come in. He can stay out for at least another 3 or 4 laps. Calvin's staying out as well. Now, here's the interesting thing, and this is what we absolutely have to just pay attention on, is the gap at the top. Where Calvin is compared to Hosman, compared to Ervoy. So I'm not going to compare him against Fabian Barthez because that's just frankly idiotic. You want to compare him against Hosman. So let's just watch Hosman. He comes out behind his teammate. He's got Gatian right behind him as well. Now he's got to watch that Gatian doesn't get past him because that's going to be fundamentally key. If Gatian gets past him, then he could really hold him up. What Hosman has to do is just get this good lap in. The problem with everything is, well, he's got 6 seconds of penalties. That's an even bigger problem. But Calvin can just keep hammering these lap times in on the mediums. And then he can start to see what's kind of going on ultimately. And that is going to be the fundamental key thing here. So let's see if the gap from Hosman to Hodgie actually reduces. Martin gets a 3-second penalty. He's down in 14th. He's on those medium compound tyres. He took the soft tyres around about 6 laps. Now Hosman's now dropped to about 16.7. Fanning's left the session. Hopefully he will get back in. Hosman, that gap is 16.7. It's staying relatively consistent at the moment. Aerovoice 6 seconds up the road. Call Me the Brave. Hosman just decided to almost go into Qatar and try and invade them. Hosman is going to let his teammate... Call Me the Brave is going to let his teammate pass. Yes, he does. Team orders are allowed. But this is now going to be the interesting thing. So Stoops just went into the pits. We've seen that in the Williams there. So he's going to go, oh, he's got 5 seconds for spinning in the pit lane. Slow it down. Don't attack the pit lane. Call Me the Brave is just kind of holding back from his teammate. I think he's going to play the rear gunner of Mercedes ultimately. Now this gap is starting to close. So we can see it here. Hosman's now 15.9 seconds. It was 16.7 a lap ago. It's now 15.8. So almost a second has been gained. Fabian has to watch because he's going to just want to take it carefully. He doesn't want to get himself into too much trouble, but he also has to bear in mind that Hosman is wanting to prove the point. He had pole by about 7 tenths of a second. He had a horrific start where he bogged the car down. He's got 6 seconds of penalty, so actually if you're Fabian, you're almost going, well, I actually don't have to. I mean, his gap's basically 12 seconds, ultimately. Interesting one will be when Calvin pits. That's going to be the one that drives the strategy, right? Because Hodgie's probably got another 2 or 3 laps, I would say, and he's going to be absolutely smashing it when he gets onto those medium compound tyres. I mean, that is just fact, right? Let's see what Calvin can do, because he goes for another lap 13 on these tyres. So he's going to be going on to the hards, or is he actually trying to go to the softs? It's possible. Hodgie could go onto the softs. And all of a sudden you've got this huge and that's the great thing about the tyre rules this season. Is you're not starting on the tyres that you qualified in Q2 on, or your fast lap. You're getting the chance, and you can go for these different strategies. You can go for the safe bet. Of course you can. Yellow flag. One of the Mercedes has had a moment, and that is... Oh, is it Call Me the Brave? Interesting. But you can play it safe, and you can go the medium, hard, medium, right? Absolutely fine. No issues with that. Bit boring, but you can do it. Or you can try and roll the dice. Look at that helicopter view. I mean, this is what we get. Beautiful. Flying under the various hotels and canopies as the ladies and the gentlemen enjoy themselves in Saudi Arabia. Jeddah, if you forget. Oh, look, there's a yacht. And a lighthouse. Not quite sure why you need a lighthouse. Look at all the other lights. But you can go for that long, hard, soft, medium, soft. There's some drivers who are absolutely superb. Mark's going already, so he's decided to go on the mediums now. Calvin on the mediums is staying out. Madness. Utter madness. But what is going to be key here, and Mark's trundling down the pit lane, remember, and Hosman has passed him. Now Mark's going to have to watch, because Call Me the Brave, remember his teammate, who hasn't stopped yet, he is coming out. Let's just see. Call Me the Brave And Mark's going to get out in front of him just as he... Oh, he is, he has. That was fundamentally critical, but he's lost 4 seconds. He should be able to gain that back through those medium compound tyres. We've seen that Hosman's already had the pace for them, so let's keep an eye out. Single track up to 12th place. Think he's going to have to come in towards the end of the race to pit again. I don't think he can get to the end. It's not a great race for the Ferraris. Palang, the Malaysian, has went on to the soft compound tyres. Kaiser Soze is there. Dumbest Hornet gets 3-second penalty at the moment. Let's just have a look at penalties whilst we're there. There you go. 3 seconds for Calvin, 6 seconds for Hosman, 3 for Dumbest Hornet, 5 for Stu for speed in the pit lane. Single track gets 3, and Baby Hornet gets 8. Calvin, the leader, on the mediums, he is going to go on the softs. There's absolutely no thoughts about it. He's not going to stick the hards on now. It'd be ridiculous. You may as well go with the aim, and I've done it myself, you go with the aim of hoping that there'll be a safety car and you can get into the pits. And some people might call that luck. Some people might call it jammy sod or lucky beggar. But it's tactics. And this is what this sport is all about. It's tactical advantage, what you can do to make it work for you. Whether that is through tyres, whether that is through getting it at the right moment with safety cars, whether it's someone crashing it. It's all about, it all is in luck. It's all about you driving your own race. If you smash it into the wall on turn 2, pointless. You've done nothing. You've achieved nothing. You might have stuck it on pole, but you've achieved nothing. But if you just consistently are just going around and you're collecting the laps and you find yourself in this position, then yeah, go for it. Take those medium compound tyres right to the end. Stick a set of softs on in 2 or 3 laps time. Then absolutely smash it for 6 laps. That's exactly what Calvin's going to be thinking. Mark's kind of sitting there in a slightly bit of a difficult situation. Hosman 6 seconds penalty. He's 5 seconds behind his mark. So he knows if he keeps that, then he's got essentially 3rd place, if not better. But if Calvin goes on to the softs, that's when some of the challenges are going to come. Because Calvin's going to be he's going to be like a rocket ship. He's going to be like NASA has invested into a Formula 1 team because he's just going to be the Rapide. Guaranteed to see pit stops, Mandy. Always happy to see pit stops. There you go. 1. Apart from the bottom 2 who have put 2. Call Me the Brave and Calvin are the ones who haven't yet pitted. Oh, Fanning's retired! Could this well be the moment? Yes, it is. It is a full safety car. Wow. We called that there would be. We were talking about luck. We were talking about opportunities. This is the biggest opportunity. Calvin is going to go in. He's going to stick the soft compound tyres on. If you're Aerovoice, if you're Hosman, what do? Remember, under the safety car, you're driving to a delta. Everyone is pitting there. Hornet, Loppy, Stu, Alex, Womack, Single Track, Carl, Ryan. It's all coming back to them now. So those that were at the back, those that had slightly more challenging races, it's all going to start to come back to them because the field is going to bunch up. The curious thing is going to be what the individuals at the front do. Mark has just pitted. He's put the mediums on. He'll be kicking himself. Stayed out 3 or 4 laps longer. Dare, absolutely. I mean, he's leading the championship at the moment. He's done superb. I mean, he's gone with it. Now, actually, has he pitted? Yes, he's just put the medium compound tyres on. So he went in early. Or possibly just before the safety car. He'll be kicking himself. Calvin pits. If he didn't, it would be ridiculous. He's pitting now. What is Fabian going to do? Is he going to pit? He's on the hards. Yes, he does. He's coming in. Hosman comes in. Hodgie could stay out. And actually, would it be a bad thing if he did stay out? No. And again, this is a track that all is about pace. Hodgie comes out in the lead. on 3 lap old mediums. Calvin has come basically from the back of the grid to second on the softs. Erevoice and Hosman are both on the softs. Call Me the Brave is on the mediums. Gatian is pitting. He's going to go from hards to softs. Dumbest stays out. He's on the softs already. Loppy's on the mediums. So much variety of pit stop strategies and tyre strategies already here in Saudi Arabia. This is the great thing about it. Morgan there, passing his teammate, the 2 Williams. A little bit of a cheeky manoeuvre there. But this brings every single person back into play. Martin's put a new set of mediums on. Remember, he already used the set of softs at the start of the race. Ryan's on those soft compound tyres, Palang just behind. There's Baby Hornet as well. Gavan is on the hards. He's going to move on to the soft compound tyres and mark the Simba pits as well. Now, safety car's probably going to be out for another couple of laps. So we're then into this 5-lap shootout where you've got soft compound tyres, you've got medium compound runners, and you've got this mix of 19 now, 19 cars all being together and the drama that presents. If we analyse the race up to this point, I think undoubtedly Hosman's had the pace. He showed it in qualifying. But he's almost shot himself in the foot twice because of those penalties. And these penalties don't help at this point in the race. Because the less running we have in free air, the more challenges that we're going to come across. Especially for those who have got penalties. Calvin's got 3 seconds. Not insurmountable. Hosman's got 6 seconds. Erevoice has just been there. He started second, got a really good start. Hosman bogged down. He was in the leads by kind of turn 1. He kind of stayed there 7-8 seconds ahead. Calvin's come up from the back of the grid and just, again, through luck, through great placement of the car, has been there. Hodges just stayed consistent. And the fact that he qualified, I think it was 4th. Let's just see. Always helps if we know where we go. There you go. Hodges up 3, yes, so he started 4th. But he stayed consistent. And again, that is one of the things that we just need to see. It's all going to come down to... And remember the rules that we've got. The DRS will not become activated again until 2 laps after the safety car goes in. Now, 2 laps after the safety car goes in, if the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, and given the fact that Gibban and Simba are just about closing the gap, that could be possible. So, safety car comes in at the end or the start of lap 20. Therefore, it's the start of lap 22 that we get DRS. That's 22, 23, 24. That's 4 laps of potential DRS action. That is 12 DRS zones through each lap. So I'll be curious to see who does what. Nobody needs to make a lunge in those opening 2 laps, right? There's plenty of time. There's plenty of opportunity still to be able to go. That's the reality of it. There is still plenty of opportunity. But we talked about it and we mentioned the Gavley Pinkham thought Erevoice would be the winner of this. Womax was the dark horse. Womax is just, well, that horse is bolted. It's down 12th. But again, you could look at Dare. Championship leader, nowhere all race, really. Safety car remains out, so it's going to come in at the end of lap 20. Therefore, lap 23 will be the start of DRS. So instantly you've gone 12 DRS zones to 9. So the guys behind, the Calvins, the Erevoices and the Hosmans will all be going, come on safety car, go in. Mark will almost be sitting here going, It's voice. He'll be going at safety car. You just stay in a little. You just stay out a little bit longer. You stay onto track. In that Mercedes AMG. In my McLaren, I just toodle on round. But go on. And we go and search through the internet and see what happens with Yorkshire, the northeast. He'll be quite happy with this. He really, really, really will be. Because again, he's 11 points behind Dare in the championship. The Dare's 5th. So at the moment, 25 points. As it stands, remember, you don't finish, doesn't matter what's happened. Let's just have a look at the fastest lap. Fastest lap's Hosman at the moment, 133.0. I mean, look at that, right? 133.0. Aerobox 133.5, Calvin 133.9. Now again, it's all relative because medium tyres against hards, against softs, against low fuel loads, and all that lovely good stuff. But this is where it's going to get interesting. This is where we're going to see the racecraft come in, the absolute experience. Tier 1 comes your way in 42 minutes time. With Simba and with Mr. Hodgson. They will be in the box. Safety cars in this lap. This is now where it becomes control. Back the pack up. Look to give yourself the most optimum run out of that hairpin. Almost go when you want. Now it would be easy enough to just go out of that hairpin because I think a lot would. But you want to call their bluff slightly. And Hodgsy he's keeping them going. Remember, he doesn't have to go until the safety car line. But he knows that they will be charging and he's gone now. So he's managed to pull up a little bit of a gap. Nothing fundamental, but enough that will protect him coming down into turn 1. Now, if we look back in the moment, there's Aerovoice, there's Hosman, there's Call Me the Bravest Dumaton, and Mark's got 3 seconds. He will be absolutely kicking himself. It's not what he needed at all, and he's got Calvin all over him near enough. So Hodgsy will be kicking himself right now. Alex, I think, was left the session there potentially. But Aerovoice now is Fabian and Dare are the 2 that don't have penalties in this group. And the more that these 3, 4, 5, 6 battle, the more it's going to be there. Hodgsman gets another 3 seconds. This is absolutely just not working out for him. He's going to go try round the outside of the banking. Fabian almost lets him go as if to say, well, yeah, you could go there. Hodgsman's almost, again, he's shooting himself in the foot. Every time you think he's potentially got the opportunity, because he's got the pace, but he just keeps shooting himself in the foot. It's like slapping yourself with a wet fish. Don't know why you do it. Anyway, Calvin is absolutely gaining on Hodgsy at the moment, and look at Hodgsman. I mean, he's absolutely the class of the field. I mean, I can't even go near driver of the day at the moment because fundamentally I don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 laps. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 corners. Here's Calvin's going to go up the inside of Mark as they come into the hairpin. Mark has to watch it. They'll be nicely fair and balanced there. Brilliant move there. Hosman looked to get a little bit there. Ant says, what a move though. Absolutely great move. But you're slapping yourself in the face with a wet fish. That's the problem. Calvin out in the lead. Hodgsy is maybe just going to let that go. Alex leaves the session. Unfortunately, looks like connection issues there for the man from Qatar. Hosman has to watch now because he's 9 seconds of penalties. This could really, really hamper his race. Simba's in the pit. Something's happened to him. This could really, really hamper his race depending on what it is. Fabian behind is in this kind of really kind of fortunate position in a way. I mean, if we look at penalties, there you go, 9 seconds. So let's just jump back. Let's just keep an eye on the intervals. Hodgsy's now beginning to be that little bit of a roadblock. Again, not through lack of pace. Mediums against softs. Light cars, soft, grippy, hot tyres. Ugh. They are the espresso shot right now compared to his cappuccino. Hosman's not going to build up a 9 second lead. I mean, even with the pace that he's shown, he's not going to build up a 9-second lead in 3 laps. Remember, DRS will become activated. Now, let's have a look at Hosman's pace. I mean, he is absolutely... I mean, he's tanking his ERS. But he's now into 2nd place. And Hodge is now coming back to him. But look at the pace. Calvin, fastest man on track. Expected 131.9, takes the fastest lap of the race. So at the moment 26 points going to the man from Austria. Fabian sits in this sort of box seat at the moment. Got a yellow flag. It's one of the Alfa Romeos. I think that's Baby Hornet. Was at a moment. Yes, he's dropping down. So who's been 9/10 of a second back, and we've got another yellow flag into tail into sector 1, but it's all good. We'll come back to the battle at the front because I just want to focus on what's going on here. Absolutely, just skittles at times in terms of who, what, where. We've got passing moves and absolute plenty. We will come back to the top. We'll keep our eye on the times there, but this is absolutely phenomenal to watch. Palang is back there, so Ryan's there as well. Dumbest Hornets past Call Me the Braves. Dare has dropped down into 6th place. Ryan will be looking to make moves as he prepares to go to China. Hong Li Bao, as he is fondly known in Russia. Martin is going to be looking at Carl. Carl's got DRS, Martin's got DRS, Martin's on the ERS as well. We're going to just jump back to the top though, because here comes the move for the race lead at the present moment. Hosman's going to go into the lead on lap 24 out of 25. Not going to say Calvin fought that too hard. I mean, I've seen countries get invaded for less and not give up any form of challenge. Hosman's not going to build up these 9 seconds though, but what he's going to do is damage limitation. That is what's going to happen. It's damage limitation for him. Calvin's going to be quite happy. But the problem that Calvin's got, and he's going to watch that he doesn't get any more time penalties. Fabian's 2 seconds behind. So at the moment, the winner of the race is the man that's sitting in 4th place. Stubbs dropping. 15th. This is it. How do you call, or what do we call the driver of the day? Because at any point we've had 3, 4, 5, 6 different drivers that could all be your driver of the day. Now it could be Hosman, for the very fact that he put it on pole. He smashed it lap times. He's probably the quickest one out there. But he hit himself in the face too many times with the wet fish. He got greedy. And he's got 9 seconds of penalties. Doesn't mean that it doesn't potentially put him in the running. Calvin's come from the back. And maybe could win this race. Mark's just had a stable, consistent run. Our voice, Fabian's been disappeared, missing in action for about 3 seasons. When he's back, he puts it in 2nd. And he could win. Chris is up there as well. Who knows? Who knows who the driver of the day vote's going to go to? Hosman 2 seconds ahead. Mark is slowly gaining on Calvin. I think Mark would take it. And the thing that'll be annoying him is on that safety car restart, he incurred 3 seconds of time penalties. If he hadn't have had that right now, he would be looking at a net win. That's the thing that's going to just annoy him. Just the thing that just irks us, the little things that just niggle you. Fabian at the moment is going to take the victory after all the results. Hosman's going to take the victory on track, and we're going to see him now. As he comes across the line, I'm not going to get too excited because Results mean everything. He comes across the line, he takes it. He's instantly going to get demoted to second, to third, to fourth. He's going to drop to fifth. He does. Oh, Thomas Hornet drops. Fabian takes the win. Calvin's taking second. How is Dare taking third? Like, really? What? Madness. Mark takes fourth. Loppy takes fifth. Where did Floppy Loppy came from? He was half-baked half the race. Postman takes sixth. Kaiser Sosi seventh. Womack's eighth. So the Alpha Tauris, who again have been nowhere, 7th, 8th. Alex 8th. Morgan comes home in 10th. Palang comes home 11th. Martin in 12th. The Hasses and Carl and Ryan 13th, 14th. Baby Hornet 15th. Gatian 16th. Dumbest Hornet 17th. Simba's going to come across the line in 18th, and Gibbons in 19th. And not a great race for the Ferraris. Who do I give driver of the day to? I mean, and genuinely, who do I give driver of the day to? Do I give it to Calvin? Do I give it to Aerovoice? Do I give it to Calvin for the fact that he's absolutely come up from 16th, 17th on the grid? Do I give it to Fabian because he's won his first race back? He qualified second? He took the lead in the first corner? I'll tell you in a wee minute who the driver of the day is. The game gives it to Kaiser Soze. I like Kaiser Soze. I'm not questioning his driving. I'm not quite in agreement with the game. But anyway. Wow. Driver of the day has to be a joint driver of the day. And the rationale for that simply is, cannot put a penny between them. Both for different reasons though. Calvin comes from 16th, 17th to second. Was in the right place at the right time. Superb comeback drive. Fabian gets it also because he's just come back, planted the car in second and won the race. He was leading it for a while. You could argue that he got unlucky because of the safety car. In the same manner that you could argue that Calvin got lucky because of the safety car. So your two joint drivers of the day are Calvin and Fabian. Absolutely. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Error voice. Fabian takes the victory. We will not be seeing him in Tier 3 with that pace. Calvin finishes second in the Red Bull, coming from 17th. Dare finishes third. So he's going to extend his championship lead. Hodgie finishes fourth. I've no idea how he managed to finish in fourth because he probably deserves slightly better. Floppy Loppy in fifth place. Hosman in sixth. You can have all the pace in the world, but he was screwed over by penalties. Kaiser Soze finishes 7th, Womack's in 8th, Alex in 9th, and Morgan rounds up the top 10. Remember, all these results are provisional, pending any stewards' inquiries. Malaysia, Born Palang is in 11th, Martin in 12th, Carl in 13th, Ryan in 14th, Baby Hornet in 15th. Simon had a race to forget, if I'm being perfectly honest. Gatian, then Simba, again another race to forget for him, but he'll come back strong in China. Gibba in 18th, Dumbest Hornet in 19th, Panning DNF. But what a race we've got. And in 30 minutes you get Simba and Hodgson bringing you Tier 1 round the streets of Jeddah. And I'll tell you one thing, if it's anything like what we've just seen, then absolutely superb. To repeat, driver of the day, Fabian and Calvin, joint drivers of the day, absolutely superb. Great racing throughout the field, great tactics, superb racing, and you've listened to me for 75 minutes witter on about everything and anything. I didn't even get to tell you about the Rolls Royce Corniches. Might get that in MRCX on Friday, who knows. As I said, folks, half an hour's time. Tier 1, Hodgie and Simba will be here. Tier 3 on Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Tier 4, Wednesday, 8:45. MRCX Friday at 7:30, all on this channel. Your Monday, your Wednesday, and your Friday night entertainment is sorted. And I've got to mention the Santa Sack race. Now, that isn't anyone getting the sack, but the Santa Sack race is happening a week on Wednesday, the 28th of December. Coming to you live from the Ardennes Forest at Spa-Francorchamps. 30 minutes practice session, one shot qualifying, 100% race. Realistic cars split between tiers 1, 2, 3 and 4 drivers. It's going to be superb. But from me, from the Banshee tonight, thank you very much to everybody who's watching. Thank you to the tier 2 drivers for what was an incredible race. Superb. We'll continue in tier 1. But from me, all that is left to say is adieu and goodbye.